So it's news to absolutely no one that Velma was a complete disaster and should have never been made in the first place. I myself gave my 2 cents about the show in the past and how bad it was going to do, but up until this point, I still have never watched the show. Unfortunately, that has changed. I watched the first episode and holy shit, it was absolutely atrocious. But before that, let me introduce you to the characters. First, we have Velma, the horrific Mindy Kaling self-insert. Next, we have Fred, who's the typical rich, inconsiderate, evil, straight white male who's just so racist and mean to Velma, which automatically made him my favorite character. Next, we have Daphne, who's just the typical mean girl archetype with 2 moms. And lastly, we have Norville, aka Black Shaggy, who would be the worst character in the show if it weren't for Velma. Now that you're acquainted, I can give you my thoughts on this trash. The episode I watched was the first one, titled simply Velma. It starts off with all the girls taking a shower at the exact same time discussing sex scenes and TV. Realizing that someone may actually disagree with her, Daphne, who is now Asian, tries to kill the girl. Luckily, a chunky little hooded figure breaks up the fight with a crowbar that does absolutely no damage to Daphne's face, by the way. But to no one's surprise, the chunky little hooded figure turned out to be Velma. After a brief hot girl versus little fat girl confrontation, Velma discovers an even hotter girl in her locker room who's dead and had her brain removed. Now I'm just gonna do a bit of skipping ahead to the worst parts so I can talk shit about them. But after Velma is done getting pressed by 2 gay cops, who are Daphne's parents, we finally meet the main man, Fred, who is, like I said in the beginning, blessed with all the bad traits that a person can have. Plus he's white, which makes him so much more evil. Can I just say, what's up with Mindy Kaling playing these characters that are infatuated with white dudes that disrespect her? Like, if you're a fan of The Office and you're watching this, which, you know, some of you probably are, it was a very popular show, I still like The Office, but her character Kelly, remember her and her relationship with that dude Ryan? He was pretty awful to her too, and she just put up with it.
I'm going to Thailand with some friends from high school. Well, high school. And if I don't do it now, I'll never get to go. And I'll always resent you for it. You don't want me to resent you, do you?
So you're dumping me?
Let's be adults about this. Let's have sex one more time. And if you have any extra cash, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Plus, dude, Fred is supposed to be the human version of a golden retriever. He's a nice guy, looks out for his friends, is a leader. And even though I really enjoy how this new Fred constantly disrespects and forgets who Velma is, he's just not Fred. Moving on, after the funeral for the hot girl who died in Velma's locker or some shit, Velma ends up talking to Fred again, telling him this sob story about how her alcoholic mom, who's a writer, disappeared and how the police still haven't found her and don't care and all that stuff. But a little after, we meet probably the top 2 worst character in the show, Norville, who's supposed to be the replacement for Shaggy. And he fucking sucks. He's a simpy dork who has an obsessive crush on Velma. Out of all the girls that literally go to your school, you choose to have a crush on Velma. I don't know, but I just have a huge problem with this Norville guy because, one, he's not Shaggy. Shaggy was one of the comedic reliefs of the show, and they already removed Scooby, so now there's no Shaggy. There's only this guy. You know, he kind of reminds me of Jerry, who everyone who watches this channel knows I despise Jerry Smith. But that's who this kid reminds me of. Plus, they decided to make him black. It's like, what the like, that's just disrespectful, making the lamest character a black kid. By the way, if you're getting the feeling that there's something missing from this Scooby-Doo-esque show, you're correct. The mystery is fucking stupid. It's her trying to figure out who killed that girl from the beginning of the episode, if you didn't know. But because she's the only one trying to solve the mystery instead of her and her friends, you know, the usual concept of a Scooby-Doo-esque show. I have to keep saying esque because the character isn't in the show, unfortunately. But because she's doing it by herself, the mystery isn't even that memorable. It just causes you to hyperfixate on all the shitty parts of the show, or at least that's what it did for me. The episode ends with the new suspect of the killer to be none other than Fred. Yeah, big surprise. They made Fred, the dude who's supposed to be the leader, the new suspect in that girl from earlier's murder. Yep, I wonder why they made him the new suspect. I just wonder why. But to keep it simple, this show is cheeks. You see, all I've gotten from this show is Mindy Kaling's life as a teenager regurgitated in an animated series, and it's kinda sad. All it is self-deprecating humor mixed in with the bastardization of a legendary animated gem. Whoever gave Mindy Kaling the green light to write, produce, and air this garbage needs to be arrested. Rating on a scale of 1 to 10, -1,000. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And make sure you're brutally honest about this. I wanna laugh at some of these. Thanks for watching.